Hey guys, so I'm back. The other day during the summer, I got a whole bunch of Lululemon bags that you receive when you make purchases, and I cut them into a bucket hat and completely sewed a bucket hat, but I didn't film it. So my daughter said, make another one, film it, and I'm gonna show you the steps on how to make a bucket hat. So here are the pieces of the bucket hat that I downloaded. It was absolutely free. I believe it was somebody who called herself Afternoon. So because I want to make it lined, even though the instructions say to cut one if you're making a regular bucket hat, but then cut another lining. So in reality, you're cutting two here for the top of the hat. This one, you need to cut it on the fold so that when you unfold it, it's nice and long. And it says to cut two and two for the lining, so it's 4. And the same goes for the brim of the hat. So this would be like the crown of the hat. This is the brim. It says to cut 2 and then 2 for the lining, so I cut 4. This hat is going to be, I guess, totally reversible because the lining that I'm using is the actual fabric. And so now the steps of what I need to do is I'm going to get the bucket hat crown and sew 2 pieces together, like side fabrics together, so the pretty side together. I'm going to pin it like so, pin it, stitch it here, and do the same thing to the lining. So I'm going to pin it now and start to sew. Alright, so here I am. I'm going to sew the little sides to make a longer strip. Make sure it's on straight stitch. I don't have those fancy little clips that they sell at Joann's and Michael's. I have these little, I call them pocketbook. This side, leaving about a 1/4 inch. I should back stitch. Let's do the next one. So these hold these nicely. Finally, back stitch. Do the other side. So this is the simplest part of this bucket hat. Just sewing these. And now, this is what we have. This is going to be like the crown of the hat. What we're going to do is sew, in actuality, we're sort of making 2 hats. And then we'll put one inside the other, so it's totally reversible. Now that I have the brim sewn, I'm going to attach the top circular part of the hat. And I'm going to put it inside the brim, like this, and move this over, and I'm just going to clip it all around, and I'm going to cut little slits so that it's able to bend a little further. So let me just start clipping, and I'll show you the clipped hat. Before I clip it, I'm going to make small little slits like that, which will enable the brim to stretch out a little bit so it can go around the entire circle at the top of the hat. Small slits, not large. And I'll cut off these little strings, of course. I hear the chipmunks outside. Do you hear them? And now I'm going to continue with clipping the top of the hat to the brim. So I'm going to use this little edge right here as my guide. Follow the previous line of threads and go. Check that it's sewing. Yes, it is. There. Alright, so now we go to the next row. Right here, later on, I'll just trim off the strings. And I think that's it. Okay, now time to trim off all the little strings. A bucket hat with all the little lines. Didn't come out perfect, but not too bad for my second bucket hat. Let me show you the inside. Now I'm going to just flatten everything on the inside, cut all the crazy strings, and it's a reversible hat. Let me know what bags you can use. I'm sure you can use the Trader Joe's bags, the canvas bags. Okay, so it's complete and I made a few mistakes. What I learned from this construction of this hat was to do a top stitch here all around on both bucket hats before you sew them together, and it gives it a better polished look, like I did here, but I didn't do it here, so that's a learning experience. This would have been really pressed down nicer had I done a top stitch all around here. Alright, so this is it. I'm gonna wear the hat, I'm gonna style my hair and then put it on and show you the final product.